Hi guys, Toguro here with a new video, and this video will be my top 5 ways to improve your rating in rated solo shuffle WoW PvP Dragonflight. And I must say those 5 tips will help you to improve your rating, but also improve your gameplay and your feel of that gameplay. But it is not exclusive. You need to improve on other ways as well, like for example gameplay, your class knowledge, knowledge of other specs. That's all important for rated solo shuffle, but I would say that those 5 tips will help you directly improving your gameplay also outside of those matches, but also in those matches as well. But before we start, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that yet. We cover PvP content, guides, gameplay, discussion videos, tier lists. Everything will be covered by me. Of course, please like the video if you like the video, and comment below if those tips will be applied by you. All right, let's start with the first tip, which you can do before you start the match. It is actually adjusting your spec for that game mode. It is not 3v3, it is not 2v2, it is not an RPG, but it is solo queue. So it means that you have to rely on yourself to survive, but also make other people survive their damage. So you need to play more conservatively, and also just a bit more conscious of the damage that you can actually have as, let's say, elemental shaman. So this is an example of an elemental shaman build that you could go for. It is not the best build. Again, like I should not stress it, but it is not a guide. So do not take this build if you think you have a better build, because that may be the case. But I just want to actually show the adjustments that you can make to actually improve your survivability, but also improve your healing or improve your utility towards the team. Something that you might not do in 3v3, for example. So the things that you should note, like for example, a rated solo shuffle build that you can go as a shaman would be Spirit Wolf, something that you can actually press and just forget if you think you are going to actually get focused. And then whenever you can blast, you can go out of that Ghost Wolf form and then just blast. But it will give you an option to always have a damage reduction ability, I would say passive, that is going to be all the time with you with your Ghost Wolf. And if you think you are in problem and you don't have blasting abilities, then I would just go for Ghost Wolf, running away, and of course just let them actually choose another target until you can blast even more. For example, also take Focused Insight, something that you don't really need to take all the time as a elemental shaman in 3v3, because off healing is good, but you don't really need to off heal if you have a great healer and you know you can trust him. But with this, you will improve your healing towards you and your allies, but also reducing the mana cost of those heals, so it means you can do even more healing. We also play with Hex, something that is probably mandatory for every shaman, but we have Nature's Guardian, we have also Spirit Walker's Aegis, we still have Elemental Orbit to get Earth Shield on yourself and an ally. You also have Earth Elemental, again, to improve your survivability. You have Plains Traveler, something that is very, very good in solo shuffle, because if you're surviving the first 90 seconds of that onslaught, you will have a Astral Shift back again, up and running, and it is not affected by dampening, while the seconds that are actually going into the match is affected by dampening. So you will have to rely more on damage reduction instead of just plain healing over the course of the match. You also see that I'm taking Healing Stream Totem, even more passive healing for everyone, but also Swirling Currents, again improving your own healing towards yourself or towards your allies. And you also have the options to take Elemental Warding, again a reduction on magic damage taken, something that is actually going to be permanent in solo shuffle if you're facing, let's say, a warlock, a mage, or something that is very, very bad, like magic heavy. I would just take Elemental Warding to survive a lot of damage, but also just being able to play the game, because if you don't have a wall and you are dead, you will do no damage and you will gain no rating. You also see I have Surging Shields, again improving your health, your effective health, but also just in general, your Lightning Shield damage will be passive, and you will still do damage, but also regenerate Maelstrom, which gives you like opportunities to do even more damage with Earth Shock or even elemental blast, for example. But now you can see also in my elemental tree, we play a lot of defensive like talents, but also a lot of instance talents, because if I'm going to get focused, I will have a lot of damage I can be dealing just by casting instance instead of just casting and relying on my casting, like active casting abilities. So for example, I do play with, again, Lava Surge is something you're always going to take, but I have Refreshing Waters to heal myself even more, so it can accumulate a lot with Focus Insight and Swirling Currents. You can do some insane off healing on yourself, but also on your allies. We also play with Healing Critical Strikes, heal for 250% healing instead of 200%. So again, even more healing. And we have a lot of instant abilities, like for example, we try to play around Flame Shock, Lava Surges. We play around the deeply rooted elements, so whenever you can cast, you get a lot of damage whenever it procs. We do get also monsters will fall, so you do more damage on those moments that you are actually casting, like for example Elemental Blast. Whenever you're doing that, it will do some insane amounts of damages. And again, you can just proc your Elemental Equilibrium with your Elemental Blast and then just start blasting people from the get-go. We also still have Stormkeeper, so you have the possibility to do even more instant abilities to actually decimate your allies, your enemies, excuse me, and have a great game, right? So I think you also have to take PvP talents into account. You need to play with grounding totems, for example, to survive more damage versus casters, or you need to play seasoned winds if you feel you're playing versus this warlocks, where you can just wind shear the chaos bot and you get a permanent 15% reduction on magic damage, like over 12 seconds, so it's pretty big. You also have swelling waves. Again, healing yourself will do a lot more than without the PvP talent. You can also play precognition if you feel like you're playing versus a lot of melees and you feel like you're getting focused, and you always go for interrupting you instead of the instead of the healer. You can go for precognition and then just survive the damage by becoming immune to control and interrupt effects for 4 seconds whenever you're trying to fake cast. So all of this is actually very interesting to make your build more tanky, but also just survive more damage. And I will say you have to play around your healer. I will show you guys a bit more of gameplay, but it will not be only letting you see what I'm actually discussing, but you have to play around your healer. If you're not playing around your healer, the problem is you will probably line of sight your healer and die directly. You need to be careful. You need to see, look, my healer is also just a human. He cannot just TP all the time. So if you're like a warrior and you're going blindly and you know that your healer actually gets CC'd, you have to back off, you have to run away. You don't have to pump, because whenever your healer is CC'd, that's the time where you have to hold your brakes. You have to actually go away from there and try to survive the damage. That's why if you play next to your healer, maybe you have less pressure, but you will actually survive the damage. And sometimes a DPS just dies because they just did some blind, foolish thing, like chasing a target and dying like behind a pillar or behind a line of sight. So that's a problem where the healer can't really fix, and you yourself need to just hold your turbo jets and just go back and play a bit more conservatively and try to survive the damage as much as you can. And that's also my third point. You also have to not follow the targets blindly. If you are actually chasing that BM hunter that you really want to kill, but you have a healer that is like, for example, holy paladin or something that is very, very immobile, and they get CC'd, they get rooted, they get actually bullied into being so far from you. If you're just chasing that BM hunter can survive damage because of the healer that they have that is actually playing next to the BM hunter, and you yourself will be in a situation where you are actually playing 1v2 or 1v3 because your DPS is also CC'd or your healer is also CC'd, and you're there like, why didn't I get a heal? This healer sucks. Not That's not the problem. I think the problem is you did go way too far and you forgot your healer actually is a human that gets CC'd, and they don't have an option to actually go as fast as you. to actually heal you correctly. So you also always have to have in mind that the people are actually going to get CC'd, and you are not the only one playing the solo shuffle. You play with two other people that are probably not as good as you, or maybe as good as you, or even better as you as a player. And you should also just note that sometimes they will get CC'd, sometimes they will get slowed, sometimes they will get rooted, and you as a warrior or a DH or a DK, and you're chasing a target, you are more likely to lose because you did that chasing. So please just don't follow the targets blindly. Now, you have to also communicate what the focus should be, and that's my fourth point: communication. You need to also talk to your other DPS, to actually your other healer, and say, look, I think the better target is the warlock, or look, the better target is the fire mage or the frost mage. You don't need to want them to actually free cast. You need to choose your target, and your other DPS actually has to follow, or the other DPS will say, look, to be honest, what you're saying is not really true. I prefer to kill the warrior because the warrior is actually line of sighting the healer all the time. And then you can choose to actually follow the advice and say, okay, right, you're right. That warrior is actually very, very aggressive, gets always in line of sight, and you could actually kill that target very easily. And I think by communicating those shot calling moments, it just makes you actually more likely to win those games. And now, the fifth point, I think it's the most important. I want to talk a bit briefly about it. A lot of people seem to forget that it is made to have fun. It is a fun game mode. It is actually fun to play with people that you don't know, and it always switches every round. So, my fifth point would be you should have fun. You should actually have fun with improving your gameplay, improving your stats, improving your ways to actually survive. Try to brainstorm how to survive damage, how to actually deal that damage. Try to brainstorm on your build. Maybe that build is very good in 3v3 or in RPGs, but in ranked solo shuffle it doesn't have a place because you don't have the comp or the playstyle from your other allies to actually help you enhance your talents. Then you need to adjust. And I think that's my fifth point. You have fun. And my sixth point, that's bonus, you have to actually adapt. If you don't adapt, you will have a bit more difficulties with that said playstyle, because it's all around adapting your playstyle. You will always have another ally with you. You will always have different comps all the time, and you will have to adapt your playstyle, and you will have to actually build loadouts in advance. If you're facing versus physical damage, if you're facing versus magical damage, if they are kiting people, if versus you're playing versus kiting specs, or you're playing versus a lot of melee specs, like for example warrior, where you will not have to run away, run around to catch them. You will have to always fight them or run away from them. So you have to build a loadout for that. So I think having fun building all those things, having fun to actually improve yourself, improve your knowledge, improve your like aspect of playing solo, and actually not playing with a mic or not playing with people, like communicating with people, is super important. And I think if you forget about the fifth like tip, actually having fun, I think you will just drop off solo shuffle really quickly and go back to another mode like 3v3 or 2v2. But if you have fun improving your rating in solo shuffle, having fun trying to survive more, having fun to do more damage, having fun to actually improve your build, you will have huge success in solo shuffle, and I think you can do that. So I don't know if you guys actually learned something from that video. Please let me know in the comment section below. It is quite a light-hearted. Again, it's something that maybe is obvious, to not kite your healer, or to not just follow targets blindly, or to adjust your spec to survive more damage instead of just going for the kills. But a lot of people are not noticing it, or at least in my games I just feel like, look, you're playing a really selfish build. You need to play a bit more like friendly, like more healing or more utility wise or more defensive wise to actually win those games. And whenever they switch that playstyle, I just feel like it's a lot harder to play against them. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with solo shuffle. I can't wait for Dragonflight. and I want you guys to actually enjoy your time in Solo Shuffle. So if you have questions about Solo Shuffle, if you have questions about specs, about things that you are actually hesitating around Dragonflight, please let me know. I can then answer those questions to make you more comfortable with your choices into Dragonflight. So thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate you. Again, please let me know in the comment section below if you learned something, and we will catch each other very soon in a next video. Have a great day. Bye.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away, as you fade away.
Yeah, I'm about to fade away, cause every time I wake up I feel like it's Monday. Something's going wrong with all the chemicals up in my brain. All of a sudden I don't look at anything the same way. Got a buildup of my thoughts sitting in an ashtray. I'm sorry that I'm so inconvenient, okay. Just let me be me and I'll stay out of your way. I can see the way you look at me, I'm such a disgrace. I never really asked to be brought into this place. You wanna love me? Well then baby have a taste. All the highs and the lows, no you'll never be the same. I don't really wanna hurt you but I can't control the pain. If you're sticking by my side maybe we could be okay. Okay, maybe you could be the change I need today. I promise that I've never felt this way. I really hope that you will choose to stay through all the pain.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. Guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue eyes fade to gray as you fade away. As you fade away. As you fade away. I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. I guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts to watch your blue